Well, hello again. It's Paul from Ski Instructor Academy here, as always, with Andy from Snow Camps Europe. So we were thinking, what are we going to talk about? Well, me being me, Andy, I like to wind people up. And I sort of said, well, why do people and why can people just never, ever get to where they want to be when it's, about skiing? And a lot of it, I suppose, is goal related. It's like, don't get me wrong, if your goal is pottering down a blue run, then probably you do reach that standard. But I think as is the day that we're in now, the generation, etc., everybody has visions of grandeur. They want to be, the best. It's something that somebody else that they maybe see do this has been doing since they were 2 years old and, put in hours and hours of work into it every single day with their training and everything. And they want to be at that same standard without all that background work. We've spoke about this before. I was saying off camera to Andy, don't look at beauty magazines. They'll only make you feel fat. And it's the same thing with skiers. If you're watching YouTube and Instagram and things like that, and you're seeing these phenomenal skiers, whether phenomenal guy in the park or it's a phenomenal racer or it's a phenomenal guy in the bumps or whatever, and you think that that's your goal when you ski a couple of weeks a year, then I would put that as an unrealistic goal. And don't get me wrong, it's great to aim for the stars, as they say, and all this sort of BS. But I think we've got to be realistic to it. And, I wanted to address some issues as to why people are setting themselves up to fail. And, what do you think?
No, as you said, we're looking at people who are at the top of their game and we're wanting to emulate them. And it's
a big
like
word for you.
Yeah, I can't spell it. It's like Lewis Hamilton. I can't drive my car around Kaprun like Lewis Hamilton drives his around the Nürburgring. I can't do it. I haven't got the skill. Yeah. He's practiced and practiced.
As much as you may want to do it, you just haven't got the skill.
Yeah. Well, at the minute, there's got something wrong with my brakes. I've got a brake failure at the minute, so I don't even want to drive my car. But yeah, he's grown up go-karting. He's learned how to handle a go-kart and then gone into what would it have been, Formula 3, Formula 2, Formula 1, world champion. There's nothing wrong to aspire to be like somebody or to want to work to that level and to achieve what you can. However...
What you can.
What you can. But however, most of us cannot spend the hours and money training to get to that level. So when you just said realistic goals, it's all well and good to aspire to do that, but your goal needs to be more realistic to what time you've got, what budget you've got, your fitness, your age, your current ability, the ability of who's going to train you to get you to that level. Because again, without somebody, and even the footbed isn't going to get you there. The digital fucking ski instructor, sorry, but it's not. And there's all of them things that you've got to take into account. And once you take them into account, you're probably never going to get where you want to get.
Which is interesting because it brings me on to when you mention digital footbeds and all this sort of stuff, is always looking for something new is one reason why people in sport fail. And I see this a lot. And I'm not talking about skiing. I'm talking about my expertise within other sports and coaching. And the consultation I've done within coaching is what I see is people are always looking for the new thing. So there's always somebody on Instagram telling you they've got a new exercise to make your butt stronger or a new exercise that's going to alleviate your back pain. When actually, guys, I'm going to be honest with you here and not sell anything. It's the basics. That's the problem. And it's the same in any sport. There's nothing special. Nobody has something there that, and you see this when people are hunting around for different instructors and they compare their instructors. Don't get me wrong, there are some terrible instructors and some instructors that, 90% of them are probably not that good. But there is a niche of very good instructors around and they shouldn't be putting each other down because basically it's often the client's fault. I keep saying that what we want when we have students is coachable students. And I say to that to people all the time, give me somebody I can coach. Because anybody who's already got opinions and they are already looking for the next thing before they've even seen what I've got to offer is an issue. And I find in sports, skiing as well, that people think there's some hidden thing that some instructor is going to tell them that no other instructor knows in the world. And I'm sorry, it's not. That's not going to happen. Some instructor may present the information better than another instructor to you. Absolutely, that will happen because some instructors can communicate well. And this actually brings me to a topic where somebody had belittled, I think, something Tom and I had done, saying, why do we make it so complicated and all this sort of stuff? And it's like, well, actually, mate, the issue is you're just too stupid to understand it because you're looking for a technique coach. What Tom and I might push forward is some mechanical issues which help trainers and then coaches that would watch this channel understand the mechanics behind it, the physics behind it, the science behind it. And it is important that we have that information. Okay, we don't need to present it like Tom and I did there, which is extremely complicated, if you like. But of course, equally, there's a huge audience that finds that complication super. They want that information. They eat that up for breakfast. And you just couldn't do that. You wanted somebody to just say, bend your knees. Something simple to you, that may work for you. So coaches can present differently, absolutely. But what's important, guys, is stop looking for the new special guy, the new special thing. Because as great as I might think I am, I'm absolutely no different than anybody else. Skiing is skiing, like rowing is rowing, like boxing is boxing, like anything else. There are basic fundamentals to movement science and how you present that. And you need to maybe stop looking for the new alpine position or the new comma position or the new how you lean inside or whatever, and actually just address the fact that you haven't really covered the basics, the simplistic things. That's what makes the pianist so good, the violinist, etc. That people get that niche of the market. It's the basics. It's not that there was a secret formula.
And it's practicing the basics and mastering the basics.
Yeah. Just like when I watched something the other day, I saw something as simple as like lowering somebody's center of mass or position by 2-3 centimeters can have a massive, huge effect on their ability to box, their ability to ski, their ability on a snowboard, their ability, whatever it might be. So just something simple. It's not about, talking. Yeah, I get this guy complaining about me being too, it's not about using the subtalar joint and how the navicular is blocked or whatever. No, okay, you don't need to know that. But what we might want to do is say, hang on a second, this guy's skiing down. And there's an issue here because he's at end range. We mentioned this in the last podcast where I said people skiing too far forward are often already utilizing the maximum range they have to them in their ski boot, in their ankle joint. So all of a sudden now, if that joint's now at max range, we have to then compensate with the knee or the hip higher up because you don't have any more range of movement in your ankle. You've given that all up on your first turn. Now, yes, a good mechanics coach will see that and identify why this guy's getting caught inside or pitching with his hip more than usual. And it might be nothing to do with the fact that he has bad core stability. It might just be the fact that, hey, you're just too far forward in your ankle joint all the time. We need to put a drawn pin in your so you're not leaning forward into your shin. So there's a simple thing here why people in sport fail a lot, and I want to say it's because they're always looking for the next thing, this secret formula, this answer that some ski instructor is going to say something like, curl your toes up at the start of the turn and but it's not new. I'm sorry, everything anyone has said in the last 5 years on social media is not new. I'll guarantee you that it's not new. They are echoing something from somewhere else. And that's just life. Of course, they may echo it very good. That's great. They're a good coach. They present the information with enthusiasm, with passion, with interest, and they engage with the client. That's a good coach. But you would have a good coach who has very limited ski knowledge. Let's say he's not even a ski instructor, but he's a world-class coach. And I bet he could teach you skiing better than a ski instructor could because he's a world-class coach. That's what you're after. So that's one of the reasons, Andy.
I think going where you're saying about looking for the new thing and going back to your beauty magazine analogy is in people who are trying to lose weight, spend more time looking for the new way to lose weight than focusing on losing weight. And we know that calories in, calories out. If you eat too much, you don't move, you'll get fat. If you eat a little bit less and you move more, you'll get thinner. And again, that's the same thing. People who are looking to lose weight are looking for the new thing. Ooh,
the easy thing, the easy
water
fix.
with a bit of lemon in it that's going to strip my fat. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true, yeah. I mean, and that's the day and age we're in now, that people are constantly searching, constantly looking. You know, it's even on social media. It's flick, 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 you know, and follow or don't follow. I would say that, and this is what I've said before, when sometimes you get people who ski with you and they actually have quite a few inputs, so they may go to different camps, you know, they're a little bit more wealthy, they go to different camps in the world and they'll take lessons, and it's great. I mean, they must get, you know, a bit of experience of what it's like getting, you know, this Canadian guy to this Australian guy to this English guy to this, but it can also get confusing. And you know, generally people don't, as a fantastic athlete, have multiple coaches. They sort of center themselves around one main coach who formulates the plan, and they have faith and trust in that plan. Of course, in skiing, being recreational skiers, many of you know, go from ski school to ski school to ski school, and you will compare. Unfortunately, those type of lessons they're antiquated, they're in the past, and you should avoid them. What you should be looking for is, you know, these coaching things like we offer, like Snow Camps offer, where you can come into something that's generally all orchestrated around looking after you for the week and making sure you get the best advice and coaching that you can possibly get. But yes, certainly seeking out this new formula, certainly thinking that somebody's going to tell you something about your skiing that you've not heard before is another weird one, because I often, you know, I've mentioned this, I think many years ago about on a podcast, saying that we often get in week 4 of let's say we have 20 days preparation phase before an exam, and somebody might come to us on the 18th day and they'll turn around and go, yeah, but such and such, I've never heard this about balancing on my outside ski, for example, or something really weird.
Yeah.
And you'll think, hang on a second, you're trying to tell me that 4 subsequent coaches have not mentioned to you like the most basic alpine thing of outside ski to outside ski. Yeah. It's insane, because I know their program, I know what they do. But that student, for some reason, thinks that this 4th coach has just told them something that the 1st coach should have told them. And this is the issue. It's like often people just aren't retaining the information, or maybe it is that 1st coach failed to passionately pass across a message. And what I keep telling my staff is the same thing: is do less better. Don't present loads and loads and loads of information, but instead look at your week and think, right, what do I want to tell these people? This week, I just want to tell them the importance of core stability. How many different ways in the next 5 days can I present that to them? How many different ways can I present pole planting? How many different ways can I present outside ski balance to this group for 5 solid days? And that's the only thing I want to get out of day 5, is that at the end of the week, they're going to go, oh, what have we done? Oh, yeah, we know exactly what we've done. You know, we've done this. It's more to do with that. It's more to do with the passion and the drive, I think, of how the coach presents things. But yeah, that's one of my top things is stop looking for more information. You've probably got enough information.
If not too much.
Yeah, I find this a lot. When I learn something new, so every 2 years I like to learn something new, and I digest information. I'm terrible for it. I'm just as guilty. I point the thumb at myself because I'll try different sources and I'm grabbing information all over the place. And then at some point, though, I will look at it and go, hang on a second, I know this. Why am I looking at the same thing again in a different way? Stop it. Like, just stop. Taking the information you've got, digest that and be better at that. How many of us, and it was interesting, I was saying to Julian the other day that, you know, how many of us really know how to use our iPhones? like seriously, I keep having the latest whatever iPhone or my watch, my iWatch. I have no idea how this works apart from to look at the time, really. I mean, really, yet it probably does so many things.
It's like, well, whether it be your mobile phone or your PC, your camera even. I probably use about 15% of that phone's ability.
Yeah.
And with my PC, I probably use 40% of its ability and 30% of all of the applications that are on there.
Yeah. So in that, with that analogy, it's about taking skiing and going, hang on a second, what are the simplest basic things that we need to be doing in skiing? Now, okay, somebody might turn around and go, it's balance. You need to have good balance, and you need to balance over your outside ski, and you need to be centered on your skis, for example. And, there you are, there's a great bit of advice. But is it because somebody else turns around and goes, hang on a second, no, you want to be always moving in and out of balance. You want to be moving fore and aft on the length of the ski. Now, who's right and who's wrong? Because then you might go, the way Paul presented it there was much better. How he says you don't center yourself, you actually move out of balance and in balance. And you might think then I'm a better coach. Mm-hmm. But it's not actually true, because both people are sending a message across. We're both discussing balance, and we're both presenting it. One's saying to stay centered, one's saying use the fore and after the ski. Well, hang on a second, ask some questions. Say, well, what are the benefits of staying centered compared with using the length of the ski? What does that mean then to my functions, my body, how I work? And that brings us to the next point of why people are always failing to get where they want to go within sport environment now. And they simply just don't put the effort in. And what I mean by that is they don't put the effort in as a whole. It's not just about that run, but it's about, as you're going up the gondola, what you're thinking about. Are you the guy who sits on the backside, and, are you the guy that's warming up in the gondola? Are you the guy that gets up 20 minutes early, does a few stretches, gets yourself ready? Are you the guy that the night before has already got your kit out and everything ready? Are you the guy that's really, absorbed in the fundamentals, the understanding, the athleticism of what you're about to do, and therefore you think, hey, I might have to go to the gym to prepare for this ski camp, for example? Mm-hmm. No, you're not. Most people aren't. It's not their fault. They've got a life. They've got other things to do. But if you're not double weight squatting, if you're not able to lift twice your weight in the deadlift, if you can't, do simple plyometrics, then hang on a second. There's going to be some restrictions here when it comes to skiing. It's such an agile, athletic sport. If you can't go from the speed of turn, you can't make those short turns with that huge amount of deflection that you get underneath your body if you're not able to absorb it, not able to withhold that. And we spoke about this off camera, about just simple things of injuries, age, and getting slower.
Yeah, it's what package have you got? Because at the minute, obviously I've got my knee that's held together with screws, which has never felt like it felt before since the operations. Now, because we've skied so much this winter, my right knee is starting to play up as well.
Fall apart, I think so. Yeah,
basically. You've got dodgy knees. I've historically suffered from arthritis that could reoccur at any point. That's instantly going to have an effect on my ability to ski to a certain level. There's 101 things, isn't there?
Especially when it comes down to health and fitness and age and things like that. It's look, I try to slow the path of decrepitude. I really want to be slowing the aging process down, but I am realistic to know that, I was saying to Andy off camera, I went up and did some video work and did some high-end skiing, and I haven't been able to ski this much this year because it's been so busy. And I'm fit, but because that's a different type of sport, I was crippled the next day from that type of skiing that I did for just 3 hours in the morning, because all the things I'd been doing this season were really cross-country skiing. There were ski touring styles of stuff. They were weights and circuits. Yeah, you would think, well, surely that would help. Yes, it does. But I'm not 20 years old. And that's just life. And this is what some coaches need to put in their head. Stop speaking to people in their 50s and saying, age is just a number when you're 30. Because age is not just a number. I'm telling you now, it's not. Yes, don't get me wrong, I'm in my 50s, but I feel super, super fit, and I feel in that tiny percent of people in this sort of age bracket for my strength and fitness, etc. But I'm still not 25 or 35. You have to understand that. And coaches need to get that through their head. When you're telling somebody to go that little bit lower, fine, you're right, But hang on a second, is that the right thing for this guy? Because sending this guy lower might make him ski really well that day, but you've just ruined his whole week because he ain't skiing Tuesday to Friday now because you've just crippled him. And that's something like, it's fine for somebody like me to go up and ski aggressively and fast because I can take the next 2 days off the slopes. But if you're on a 6-day holiday, you have to have that longevity through that holiday. And, you know, you've said it a few times, Andy, about how important it is starting slowly on the Sunday and, you know, warm into it. Otherwise, your calf's not up. And
we did this at the start of the camp last Sunday. We were on the Maiskogel. We took 11 people over to what would be the teaching area. And we said, right, guys, who's been on snow in the last 4 weeks? 1 or 2 hands went up. Who's been on snow in the last 3 months? 1 hand went up. Who's not been on snow for 2 years? All the other hands went up.
Yeah.
Right then, we are not going to go on that chairlift up to that red run. We are going to stay here for the next 35, 45 minutes and do laps of this lift while you just get back into it before we even tell you what to do, how to do, teach you, coach you or anything. And there was a massive benefit for it because we didn't start the lesson by going, okay, everybody, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. It was, you go and ski the way you ski. Also gave us a really good time to watch them all ski. And then once they'd had their 4 or 5 laps, we said, right, okay, folks, we'll now take a video of we all skiing very slowly in this corridor so we can then match that over 3 times of the week so you'll see your progression. If we'd gone straight on to, we're going to make a video, would have been horrendous.
Yeah.
You know, would have been horrendous. But yeah, take it easy. Your first day of your holiday, if it's since 1 year ago or since 3 months ago, go to a nice gentle slope, practice your movements, get back into it, and then you can venture around the mountain. But don't do what so many people do. Oh, let's go up the chairlift to the black, because last time we skied the black.
Yeah.
All goes wrong. All goes wrong.
Well, look, guys, it's already into 20 minutes odd. But I think, you know, my ranting a bit, but I do want people to realise that maybe what you need to do is consolidate a bit, maybe go back to just the simple fundamentals and stop thinking that there's somebody out there, this Jedi Knight, that is going to be able to, you know, change your skiing. All you do if you find a guy like that is you've just found a good coach. You've found somebody who can communicate, who can pass on information. There are some good coaches about who have a good eye. They can see generally what's going on. And then it's how you then take that information on board. But you will find the feedback you get will always come back down to something actually very basic. No matter how complicated they make it sound, it'll be something basic. And you just need to interpret that information and actually you'll realise it is basic. I think we're done. Ciao, ciao.